little known secret, this is actually a professional coating. We're just selling it to DIYers.
It's time to make this shiny paint even shinier.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is DIY Detail. Today, we've taken this vehicle from dirty to scratched up to glossy, but now we're gonna improve it even more. We're gonna be applying our Hydrate ceramic coating, our top level ceramic coating. Yes, we're applying it to a 2013 Honda. Of course, every car deserves the best.
I think it's worth noting that every car deserves the best. And you, whether you have a Maserati, a show car, or a 2013 Honda Accord, you can polish it and make it look amazing. We just did a one step, so a really simple one pad, one polish solution. If you don't know anything about polishing, we're gonna put that in the description below, but we want you to lock in, folks, because we're about to show you Hydrate. This paint deserves Hydrate, and I'm wondering why, Ivan.
Every car deserves it. This paint, we're gonna make it look better. Now, this vehicle has been completely wet sanded in the past to eliminate every speck of orange peel on it. Sounds great for a show car. For a daily driver, not so much. So by using Hydrate, we're gonna give it as much strength and as much as durability as we can back to this paint. The clear coat is very, very thin. We're gonna help it along.
This is a bit of a working shop, Ivan. I'm still wiping off polish from the previous step.
Yep.
Ivan's always 7 steps ahead of me. So he's got a polisher, I'm wiping off polish. What the heck's going on?
So I have our Adhesion promoter polish. Two rather large drops here. I got a little carried away. But 2 drops of Adhesion promoter polish on a dry red waffle pad. I have a 8mm stroke machine. Anything from 2 to 9mm will do the job. I'm going to apply it to the vehicle. I'm going to start on my side, work my way around. By that time, Nick will have wiped off the polish residue, and he can follow me wiping off the app residue. It's that simple, it's that quick. This replaces panel prep, and it replaces it by giving the paint more depth. It swells the paint a little bit, so the coating not only sits on the paint, it actually goes into the paint. So we're increasing the thickness of the paint, not significantly, about half a micron, but at the same time, it's gonna give it more gloss, more depth, and better bonding from the clear coat.
As soon as Ivan gets the app on, I'm gonna get it off. It is that simple. And it may seem like an elaborate thing. I like panel prep. I want to just squeaky clean my paint with a couple towels and call it a day. I think app is just as quick. In fact, I think it's easier for me because I always get lost when I'm doing panel prep, Ivan.
This, you can see exactly where you've been, and it's super easy to do. It's fast. I find this faster than a panel prep myself. We sell a panel prep. It's a great panel prep. But once you try app, you're gonna have problems using panel prep again.
Exactly. If it's just me, I go around the entire car and I know where I've been. With panel prep, it disappears right away. So I always forget, did I get this half of the panel? You know, it sounds like I'm just like the town idiot who doesn't know what he's doing. But it's happened to you too. I just think that the traceability of it's your final step. You want to make sure every piece of the paint is properly prepped. There's something rewarding about app in its own right. So if you haven't tried it yet, I highly suggest it.
Other than the efficiency of app, the other thing that I find really rewarding is the fragrance. It's tea tree oil, so it's got a nice fragrance to it. I skipped over the doors for a reason. That way Nick can do the roof and do this rear quarter panel while I go back and do the doors. I'm not in his way, and he's not in mine. I'm leaving a little less of a trail behind me, so I'm gonna add another drop or 2 of app to my pad.
Ivan, don't you think we'd sell a lot more Hydrate if we did this on a supercar? I mean, why a Honda Accord? It's like, is it only good enough for a used car?
Every car deserves respect. Every car deserves Hydrate. Time for the Hydrate. Nick is still wiping off the app. I'm not concerned because Hydrate has a very, very long working time, so I'll have time to coat the car. Even if he's not done, it's not a problem. I've got 8 to 10 drops on my applicator, and I just start applying it. Nice circular motions. I started in the center because I want to spread it on my pad. I've got more drops than I need.
Yeah, look at the transformation, just one half of the hood to the other, Ivan.
Yeah, it darkens considerably. This has a very good jetting effect.
Ooh, jetting effect. Tell me more.
Well, that's what we're seeing here, the blackening of the surface. So it's like when you get it wet. I put about 2 drops per panel afterwards. I just keep going around the vehicle. It's super easy to spread. It is a slightly thicker consistency than our other coatings, but you get used to it very quickly. And you can feel when you're going back over where you've touched before. When you start getting a little drag on the applicator, add a drop. Get that little antenna.
Ivan, I'm used to on camera leveling right behind you, so instead I'm just marveling at your handiwork here.
Yeah, the Hydrate has a much longer leveling time. Now, you can level immediately if you wanted to, but it's just giving you more work when you do that.
I was gonna say, do you want me to, or are we waiting?
We'll wait a little bit.
Okay.
At least let me get half the vehicle done here. So I'll box this in. Then fill it in with circular mold. Now, the app stage. A lot of people are wondering about app. I just noticed my watch. It took us all of 8 minutes. So it's not a long process in any way, shape, or form. Have to get that handle, of course, for that nice slippery feel for the owner. So if you go back to our previous video on this car, there'll be a link down below. I had left the back door unpolished to show you the difference. Now this time, I left the front door uncoated, and you can see a difference between the fender and the coated area. It's a little dramatic. We've been asked for many years, we want a coating that fills. That's exactly what you've gotten with Hydrate.
You know what, Hydrate seems like the perfect coating for this vehicle, Ivan?
Yes, this vehicle needed as much help as we could give it.
Well, exactly, because it didn't have a lot of clear coat to give, so we couldn't get really aggressive with the polishing. So we were limited at just a technical level. Okay, what can we accomplish? So we wanted something that would help us on the back end make that paint look even better. In your opinion, if something fills, is that cheating, Ivan?
No, that's progress. Now, if you're using a glaze that fills, but it's only temporary, maybe. But this will last as long as any other coating, if not longer.
Ivan, I couldn't help watch you ceramic coat this vehicle without putting some tire lotion on. DIY Detail tire lotion can go on wet or dry tires. I prefer them dry. And just conditions the tire, gives that really nice look. Of course, you don't have to put tire dressing on tires, Ivan. Why would you not want to do that?
I don't know. If your tires are nice and clean and they're black and there's nothing on them, then maybe, but personally, I love a dress tire.
Some people are purists, but yeah, this is our tire dressing brush. Kind of that salt and pepper, black and white. Brush there and just go right along, boom. Just kind of coloring in. Being the tire artist here today. Trying to get these tires as black as the paint.
Kind of easy to tell where I put the coating on the hood. Ready to start leveling, Nick?
It's time, Ivan.
Now what are you doing with that towel in your hands?
It's Nick's favorite Hydrate leveling towel.
Okay.
You might know it as Nick's favorite glass towel, or Nick's favorite wax removal towel, or
Mr. Twister.
Mr. Twister on the website. We're not doing all the work with this. We're just spreading it. So with our new ceramic coatings, especially Hydrate and our 5-year, it's not just like your first towel does all the work and then the Freebird 400 is your insurance leveling towel. The second towel, the Freebird 400, is doing a substantial amount of the work for you.
So normally we use a pearl weave to do the leveling, but in this case, because of the consistency of this coating, sometimes it's actually easier with that weave of the Nick's favorite glass towel.
Ivan, I think we might still be a little bit early on this.
There's a good chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. Okay folks, things are a little different with Hydrate, but they're super simple as well. 2 towels, but we're doing this a little differently. This is the method that I love. I start with Nick's favorite glass towel, and watch this. I go dry, and it's still moving under my towel a little bit, right? I'm about to message Ivan on Facebook and say, I'm struggling with Hydrate. So then I grab the level 1, which I've dampened with water. It's not wet with water, it's not dripping with water, it's just dampened. And I simply use this. Yes, it is safe. We can do a water dampened towel. It almost flashes on its own. I grab that same initial towel, and just like that, there are no high spots. This is perfectly leveled. You're still only using 2 towels, but you're going Nick's favorite glass towel, a lightly damp towel, and then you're knocking it down with this again. That is leveled, that is super simple, and that, Ivan, is glossy paint. Ivan, why is a damp towel okay on this step?
Well, the technology is there to accept the damp towel, first of all. Secondly, normally we would say to apply to the whole vehicle and wait, watch the flashing. Once that coating is flashed to 50, 60% back to clear, then you start leveling. Now, we're actually on a time crunch here. The owner of this vehicle is picking it up in 15 minutes. So that means we need to get it leveled a little faster, and that is one way to accelerate. So if you're working in a team, that's one way to do it. There's no consequence to the durability of the coating, so no need to worry about that.
Yeah, that's great. Dry, damp, dry.
Yep.
Easy. Ivan, Hydrate's gonna feel different than our other coatings. You use that first leveling towel, and if you do this a little too soon, you're gonna see a lot of wipe lines. But just grab this damp towel, no pressure whatsoever, and it almost flashes like it's good.
Yeah.
And then you're just doing this final kind of, this is what I would call the insurance wipe with Nick's favorite glass towel. If you see a little line there, just one more time with the damp towel.
Yeah, and there's no pressure involved, there's no struggling. It's super easy to do.
And there's no stress, which is so important. Nobody wants to be stressed out when they're applying a ceramic coating.
No. So Nick, as you're finishing to level the vehicle, what are your thoughts on hydrates?
Well, again, if you're trying to accelerate the leveling, if you're in a rush like we are, the guy's gonna be here in about 15 minutes, you might wanna get some distilled water, dampen this level 1, and go dry, damp, dry. I am really loving that process. It's super simple. The paint is insanely glossy. For how nasty the scratches were when we started,
yeah,
and how many scratches are still there, this paint looks phenomenal. And it's not done in terms of gloss, Ivan. Talk about that.
No, it takes about a week for the gloss to actually accelerate and get to its best, because the more you go, the more it cross links. Now, the customer is picking this up in 15 minutes and he is going to drive away with it, and that's not a problem. As soon as it's leveled, as long as it's not raining, it's good to drive away. If it is raining, wait an hour. Not that big of a deal. Now, to wash it, actually you can wash it 24 hours later with a rinseless wash. Try to wait 3 days, but if it's an emergency, you've got bugs on the front, get some rinseless wash out, wash the front end. You can do a soap wash after a week. The other things to keep in mind with Hydrate: it's a super easy coating to install. It's just a little different than what you're used from our coatings. But once you've done a car, you'll see just how easy it gets. It's actually really fast. And if you're working alone, it's even better, because now you can apply to the whole vehicle as one. You've applied to the whole vehicle everywhere, then you go around and level it. When you're doing it that way, you won't need to use the water method. You're not in a time crunch. You go around, you apply, by that time, it's time to level with the standard way we've always done it.
Ivan, people want an exact time from you. They want to know, how long after I apply Hydrate is it time to level? If I'm not in a time crunch, what's the ideal amount of time I need to wait?
There's no ideal amount of time. It all depends on your humidity level and temperature in the shop. Right now it's 70 degrees in here, but our humidity for once is actually low. It's actually quite dry in here. Our floor is dry. This is a rare occurrence for us, meaning that the humidity level is low. That actually slows down the curing. A high humidity level will accelerate the curing. If you're working outside, direct sunlight, you're working by yourself, do 2 or 3 panels and go back to that first panel, give it a test wipe. If it's still liquidy, if it's still moving around, you're good. Do a few more panels. Once you know what your temperature range and humidity range works for you, then it's easy to do. Now, Hydrate, if you do have an issue, you left it maybe a little too long. Damp towel again is going to help you out. So if you got a high spot an hour later, it's easy to get off with a damp towel. If you're 2 or 3 hours later, then you'll need the applicator, reapply the product, and level it off immediately. Little known secret, this is actually a professional coating. We're just selling it to DIYers.
Ivan, this paint is beautiful.
Yep.
We could have done more.
We could have done more. We can always do more as detailers. But we did what was appropriate for this vehicle. We want the vehicle to last longer. We don't want the customer to have to repaint it in 2 years because we polished away 90% of the clear coat. A lot of the clear coat was already gone due to a wet sanding incident. Basically, the customer wet sanded all the orange peel off the car and got a little overzealous in some areas. So we want to be as careful as possible. By putting on Hydrate, we're protecting it as much as possible, and we just did a 1-step on this. So if you look at it now, and we'll insert a picture of when we started, what this car looked like. What do you think? Did we make a vast improvement? I think so. What do you think, Nick?
I think we made a vast improvement. What say you in the comments? We answer every single one of them. This is a 1-step polish. We also teach a 2- and 3-step polishing method. If you want to know, when do I do a 3-step polish?
Yeah.
That video is right here.